Hey, it's me again, and for today we're going to manage client using an electronic medical record. We are going to gather information and proceed with the typical health assessment, formulation of your nursing diagnosis and nursing care plans, implementation, and evaluation of strategies. We will also take a peek on charting and how a printed EMR looks like with ICD coding of diagnosis. With this, we are going to use the OpenMRS demo platform. So prior to inputting the data in the OpenMRS system, I've already conducted my health assessment, my vital signs monitoring, and also my health history taking. What are the advantages of your electronic medical record? So your EMR has the ability to exchange health information electronically. This would provide a higher quality and safer care. This kind of enhancement would help providers better manage their care plan and would provide better health care. It provides an accurate and up-to-date information regarding the patient at the point of care and would enable quick access to the patient's record to have a more coordinated and efficient service. It also secures sharing electronic information within patients and to the providers. This helps providers in effectively diagnosing the patient, reduce medical error, and provide a safer care. It also improves patient and provider interaction and communication, thus promotes a healthcare convenience. It enables a safer and more reliable prescribing and helps promote legible, complete documentation, having an accurate, streamlined data for coding and billing. It also enhances privacy and security of the patient's data, would help the providers improve productivity, and lastly, would enable the improved efficiency of the providers. Moving on, we're now going to do the simulation on using an electronic medical record through OpenMRS. This is the flow on how to navigate the EMR system. Now you're going to review the records and review all input data, and once you're done, you're free to log out. A 60-year-old male patient went into the ER. He presented with the following symptoms: slurred speech, inability to walk straight, dilated pupils, and is confused. The patient's health history was iterated by his companion, and he is having an active condition of hypertension and diabetes mellitus type 2. He has an inactive or controlled condition, which is your chronic kidney disease stage 3. With the initial vital signs were taken, his blood pressure is 180 over 110, pulse is 152 per minute, respiratory rate is 30 per minute, and your temperature is 37.4 degrees. With the data collected, the ER physician opted to admit and confine the patient for further observation. So now we're going to dive into the OpenMRS system. So this is only a demo site, so do take note that these are not real patients. There's a universal username and password for the general consumption. So the first step is to log in. So to key in the username and the password that is given. Next up is to select the location for the session, which is your inpatient ward, and to click login. After we've logged in, we're going to see this format, and we're logged in as a super user admin in the inpatient ward. So we're going to venture out what are these for. So first is your find your patient record. So you can find your patient by searching their ID or their name, but do take note that they only show the recent records, which is your 41 results. Next up is your active visits. Similar to the recent activity, it only shows a limited number of results that has an active visit within the consultation or the visit itself. So it only shows 16 entries. Next would be the capturing of vitals. So these are the recent activity of patients who had vital signs monitored, and in here makes it an easier access. Another would be scheduling. So these are the calendar for your appointment, and I'm not going to delve into it more. Next is your data management. So it gives you a merging factor on how to merge patient records just to provide the patient ID so that you could have the records in merge. Next would be your configure metadata. So this is kind of like your personalization when it comes to handling your OpenMRS. So you could add personalized physicians to your liking, such as adding a new provider to the attribute type, and you're going to type in all the details that are needed. Basically, just a personalization type of thing. And lastly is the systems administrative of the open MRS, which is not too important to tackle on. So now, next on to the next step is to register the patient. So for this, the patient's name is Ezekiel Adams, and his gender is a male with a birth date of 27 on September 1993. Next up is the address of the patient. So we're going to indicate here the patient's address, which is 835 Eniel Street, Taguig City. And then we're going to put in the city, Taguig, state or province, NCR Metro Manila, country, Philippines, and the postal code is 1900. Next up would be the patient's phone number. So this is the way to contact the patient or his relatives. Next would be the relatives. So Ezekiel Adams came into the ER with his parent, which is Maria Adams. He also has a sibling, which is Alice Adams, and he has a son named William Adams. That's the final step, and now we're going to review if all the contents of the data are accurate and true. Once all are done, you can click confirm. Now we're going to the home page of the Open MRS system. In the upper left corner, you can see Ezekiel Adam and all the contact information that is needed. Now we're going to do the diagnoses, the vitals, the observations, the recent visits, conditions, allergy, and now we're going to start the visit. So first we need to admit the patient to inpatient. So we need to choose a provider, which is Smith John, and we need to admit the patient with the admission date. So here we're going to monitor the vital signs. He is 160 cm with a weight of 68 kilograms with a calculated BMI, and the temperature is 37.4. Pulse is 153, respiratory is 30, 180 over 110 is your blood pressure, and your oxygen saturation is 92. So once you're done with the vital signs, you need to check, and the BMI is 26.6. You could always check and confirm and save. Now onto the visit notes for the active visit. So here we're going to do the visit notes, which is your provider's super user. The location is inpatient. So first in the clinical note, we're going to indicate here whatever the patient is feeling or your signs and symptoms. And this would indicate what is correlevance to the primary diagnosis and secondary diagnosis. So it is indicated that the patient presented with tachypnea, dilated pupils, stiff lower extremities, left spatial spasm, an active DM type 2, hypertension, and chronic kidney disease stage 3. So in here, I've already inputted the primary diagnosis, which is your ischemic stroke, since these are signs and symptoms presenting it, and the secondary diagnosis, which is your diabetes mellitus type 2, that is controlled or confirmed, and essential hypertension, that is confirmed. So as you can see, the ischemic stroke is non-coded and the other diagnoses are coded. So this follows the ICD coding system. So next, we're going to add an attachment that would back up and certify that all of the data that we've inputted are true. So as I've told you a while ago, I have already made a medical chart for this, and Ezekiel Adams has a medical chart prepared for him. So I've already placed the medical chart containing my handwritten notes for the nursing intervention, and the quote-unquote printed medical record through an EMR system. Since we're done with that, we're now going to input the condition of Mr. Ezekiel Adams. We're going to manage conditions of inactive or active. So we're going to add a new condition. So these are your diabetes mellitus type 2, and we're going to select the onset date of this condition. So it was when March 20, 2013, and this was according to the patient's mother, which is Maria Adams. This is an active condition and it is saved. So it is presented on the table below, and you can also perform actions. Just click the command, and from active, it became inactive, and it could do vice versa. Next is essential hypertension. So same goes. We're going to select the onset date, which is according to the mother, was during March 20, 2013 as well, and it is safe. So the chronic kidney disease is not that important, but it is needed in our charting, but is considered as inactive. So that is why in the conditions bar, CKD is not present because it's considered as inactive. So as you can see, all the data that we've inputted is presented in the homepage of Ezekiel Adams' medical record. So now we're going to add the patient's allergy through the allergy stat that is found in the homepage. So this information was given to us by the patient's mother since he cannot explain it himself at the meantime. So now we're going to add the new allergy and select from a list of allergies, or could just type in the allergy if it's not there. So the patient has a latex allergy and he experiences moderate signs and symptoms whenever having contact with latex. He experiences itching and rashes, and after that, we're going to save this allergy for it to be computed and be shown in the table later on. So there. Now we're going to add another allergy, which is dairy foods or milk. So the patient experienced gastric pain and diarrhea and experiences moderate signs and symptoms for this. So there we go. We have a list of allergies now, and the last would be your eggs. The patient experiences rashes and itching, but it is a mild signs and symptom for this one. There we go. We have the table filled with the allergies. So the patient also has a penicillin allergy, having a reaction of bronchospasm, headache, and myalgia. This is considered as severe, and this is the most severe allergy that the patient has. So once that we've reviewed all the allergies, we're now going to go back to the homepage. So back in the homepage, we're now going to review the inputted data to check everything is accurate, everything's secured, and once all are done, you could just click and visit, and that's the wrap for your visit. Now here is the EMR chart that I've told you a while ago. So I've personally made this and I've based it off from a real chart or an EMR record. So I'm just going to run through the chart. You could just pause it if you just want to view in the typed in data, and this is the handwritten nursing interventions and charting list. So this is the original form of the chart, and with this video I made use of my ICD-10 book to have the codes for the diagnosis of the patient. So that is all for this video. I hope that you've learned a lot from this video, and if you're curious about OpenMRS, try to check out their site. I would like to thank you for watching my videos, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye!